First of all, this is the topic I'm talking about, reproduction in vertebrates. What you need to look at here is, number one, you need to know what you call external fertilization, internal fertilization. Once you differentiate between those two, then the whole topic you are done with it. So internal fertilization, when you talk about internal fertilization, here we are talking about the sperms must fertilize the ovum inside the female's reproductive system. You understand? Inside the female's reproductive system. And then when you talk about the external fertilization, the sperm will fertilize the ovum outside the female's reproductive system. Yes, we say female's body. Sometimes we ask you where exactly in the female's body, inside the female's reproductive system, or where exactly it takes place inside the female's reproductive system. So you need to be specific where exactly is taking place. Female's body is also correct, but the most common one is inside the female's reproductive system. So that's number one. The moment you know that, then you'll be able to understand another thing which we call what are some of the advantages of internal fertilization. Why should we have internal fertilization over external fertilization? Here it is stipulated well that internal fertilization increases the chances of the gamete. Yes, these gametes or the gametes to have a successful fertilization. When the sperms are put into the vagina, they flow. When they flow, yes, they move towards the ovum. This ovum, the chances of meeting the ovum are higher than the chances of not being into the reproductive system. Imagine you just pour it outside. Then it means that the chances of finding the ovum will be minimal, because some sperms will go this side, some sperms will go the other side, others that side, others that side. So you end up losing some sperms. But if it is inside the female's body, female's reproductive system, the chances of getting fertilized, the ovum, is high. That's why we say that it increases the chances of meeting or mating, greater chance of successful fertilization. Increased chance, gametes meet, and greater chance of successful fertilization. So basically, that is the advantage of internal fertilization. Question: once you know that fertilization, then you will know these 4 terminologies. Once you know those 5 terminologies, the 8 marks are covered. There is nothing they're going to ask you too much about this. Let me show you what I'm saying. If you don't understand, let me know. This is what I'm saying. You have oviparous. When you talk about oviparous, what does it mean? When you say oviparous, you see it's going to be talking about fertilization. Yes, they have the eggs, and so they are laid outside. But here, yes, you will find out that the fertilization for oviparous is outside. There is no, as long as the fertilization is outside, don't think about anything else. Don't talk about viviparous. Don't talk about oviparous. No, oviparous. You don't talk about that. You only talk about when, as long as external fertilization, that's it. Outside, oviparous. Is it clear? Yes. I'm not going to explain too much, but I'm just telling you what exactly. So when they ask you what is oviparous, or in terms of terminologies, yeah, this is whereby the development of the embryo is outside the female's body. Yes, it's outside the female's body. Basically, it's outside the female's reproductive system. That's it. So you see these chicken and stuff. Obviously, once you see the egg, automatically that anything which lay eggs, that's oviparous. Anything which lay eggs. If they ask you an example, don't think too much. Anything which lay eggs, that's it. You can think about it. Anything which lay eggs. Yes. So does human lay eggs? No. The egg stays inside. So either the human is viviparous or ovoviviparous. You understand? Yes. So let's go to the next part. Vivi means inside. Vivi means what? Inside. So that one is clear. So the development is inside the female's body, and the key point here is the embryo obtains nutrients from the mother through placenta. Placenta. If you don't see the word placenta, then automatically it's not right. It must not have the word hatching. You understand? So that's it. So that one is clear. Then it means that here you give birth. You don't hatch, you don't lay eggs, you give birth. That is the key point. That's why you are seeing it there. You give birth. For example, humans. I'm stressed with the things there. Think about anything which give birth. Not lay eggs. Not lay eggs. Number one. Not what? Not hatching. Yes, because when you talk about hatching, you will be talking about the chicken. What automatically the egg is there. The egg is there. Yes. Then ovo means ovum, VV means inside. It means that the ovum develops inside the female's body. The embryo develops inside the female's body, but the nutrients are obtained from the fetus through placenta. Not through placenta. From the embryo. The embryo obtains nutrients from the egg yolk. That's why here you see that we obtain nutrients from the egg yolk. That word egg yolk is very, 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 very important. Yes, egg yolk is very important. So that one is done. So you see now the 8 marks are gone. You understand? Yes, because we want to rush to the other side. So the last part of it is what are advantages of laying. What are advantages of having the baby developed inside and the baby developed outside, meaning the embryo developed inside and the embryo developed outside. So advantage of viviparous over oviparous is this developing embryo obtains what you call protection. It is being protected. They are not exposed to predators. Imagine you are walking on the street and then you how do you call it? You slap a pregnant lady. What is gonna do with on the womb? Automatically the lady is gonna have to find you or do something. You understand? So why are you doing that? Why is the lady doing that? To protect the developing embryo. You understand? The embryo is innocent. You see? Yeah, so that's the protection we are talking about. So basically that's it on this. The last terminology before we talk about the egg is precursor. Pre means prepared, born prepared. You have the eyes open, you can move, you can walk, you have down feathers. Yes, everything prepared. You are prepared to come to this world. That's the meaning. Born prepared. That's why you're saying that young are mature and able to move directly after birth. That's it. And then the eyes are open. These are the characteristics. So they will bring diagram. Diagrams can be there, and then they ask you to identify which one is precursor. Give a reason for your answer. Which one artificial? Give a reason for your answer. You understand? Yes. And then artificial. This one means that all depends on the parent. Yes, all artificial. All depends on the parent. Meaning that you are helpless. Eyes are closed. You don't have down feathers. You will see that it's helpless. You see if they bring a diagram like that and ask you, what is it? Is it precursor, artificial? You see everything. This baby is helpless. For example, you. Let's do for that. An example, what? Yes, yes, we can talk about birds here, but even you. How many years do you take for you to be able to sustain yourself? So basically, let me do a recap about this. The importance of this is still increases the survival. Lastly, this one terminology from these parts, you might find it there if you are lucky. If you are not lucky, you won't find it, but I know that you are lucky. Amnion, chorion, alontois, yolk sac. Guys, I know yolk sac is a sac, but sometimes they ask you which part sir, is this prediction for June? Which part is the they can ask you that which part provide nutrients to the developing baby. You're gonna say yolk. In actual sense, is a yolk. But in exam, we don't want yolk. You have to say yolk sac because we're talking about those membranes. The four membranes, which is amnion, the outermost membrane. You can ask you that question. Outermost membrane surrounding the embryo is called the chorion. Is it clear? The outermost membrane. The amnion is that fluid when you are dancing. Ne? Yes, in the baby. Ne? When the baby is dancing, you call it what? Amnion. Yes. Allantois, this one is is in these eggs. We don't have it in the babies, in the human babies or embryos. This one is very important for storage of wastes. You understand? Yes. And then yolk sac nutrients. Nutrients basically is nutrients. So guys, make sure that you know how to differentiate. And all these membranes are called what? Are called extra embryonic membranes. Yes. So these are membranes which basically make up the what? The embryo. Yeah. So lastly, on this, before I wind up here, you need to know the following. I repeat, our 8 marks. The first one, internal external fertilization. That is, you have to know with example. Number 2, the chances of advantages of internal fertilization. Guys, are you listening carefully? Advantage of internal fertilization. Advantage of internal fertilization. What do you mean by oviparous? We say that is laying eggs and the embryo develops outside the female's body. Viviparous, we said that your development is inside the female's body, and it means that here the baby obtain nutrients from through placenta, and birth is linked there, meaning that you give birth. When you see give birth, even don't think about it, is viviparous. Then we say oviparous. Here the development is inside, but the baby obtains nutrients from the egg yolk, basically the yolk sac, as we talked about. Yes. And then what are advantages of developing inside over developing outside? So that is also another point which you need to know. We say that basically is for protection. Yes. Then I say that one terminology from here might come. Listen carefully. Might come. Say, okay. Let me. Oh my. You know, sometimes when you laugh at a student and then you know something and that, make sure you focus on it. Then after that, oh, sir saying this. Yeah, I don't want you to be like that. Ne? Yes. Hi, sir. I'm from Soweto. Yes, I'm also from Soweto. It's nice to see you guys. Ne? It's nice to see you guys. Or to hear from you. If you have guys any challenge, make sure that you are able to obtain these distinctions. Ne? Let me know if you have any challenge. So guys, I said that make sure you know these terminologies I talked about: amnion, chorion, allantois, yolk sac. And I told you that this one we ask you too much in terms of what is the outermost membrane which is surrounding the embryo. We say that it is the chorion. We say that the membrane which nourishes the baby, the developing embryo, we say this yolk sac. Don't say yolk because we want yolk sac. Yes. So we say that basically this one is allantois. We say that allantois is very good in storing the waste product. When you break the egg, what you find there smelling, that's it. That's allantois. Precocial, born pre, which means prepared. Eyes open, everything is there. Then atricial, we say that this one all it's born helpless, meaning that it depends on the parent. So you need to know also that. Lastly, parental care, we say that the parental care, you don't need to read a lot. What I'm saying is, yeah, that's exact. If you want more than 50, yes, you understand. Parental care, what is it for? Is basically to teach the animal and basically for protection. That's it. This it helps to teach the habits of the animal. So the most important thing is to increases the chances of the offspring to survive. That's protection. Yes. Also teaching you the habits of these organisms or these animals. You understand? So guys, 8 marks gone. Yes. I'm writing on the 17th of June. Yeah. You get a distinction. Human reproduction. I want to ask you a question, guys. Should I go through human reproduction? Are you trying to mean that to tell me that you don't know human reproduction? Don't lie to me. Stay virgin. If you lost it, start now. Except when you are married. All right. All right, guys. Let's start with human reproduction. We say that. Check here. I don't see you giving answers. I'm only seeing some few people. Glycogen. Good. Thank you very much for those people who have tried to give me the answers. Yeah. Let's do it together. Yeah. The reproductive strategy where young receive nutrients through placenta. You see, the word placenta. Do you see what I told you? Yes. The word placenta. The word what? Yes. They're saying that the reproductive placenta, which shows that you feed through placenta. Then it means that that is the viviparous. Duct that transports semen, urine to outside part. This one we're gonna look at it, but it's called vas deferens. Someone said epididymis. Epididymis, we're gonna look at it. What is the difference? But it's called vas deferens. The part of the nervous system that consists of the cranial, and the spinal. These are other parts, not central, but the other parts. So it is peripheral nervous system. The form in which excess glucose is stored in the liver. Glucose is stored is someone saying sperm duct. We use vas deferens. Don't use sperm duct. Thank you very much. These are some of the reasons why I gave you so that I see what you are writing. Someone said, okay, I'll reach there. Sperm duct, please write vas deferens. Saying that the part, someone saying ovipary. Okay, yes. They're saying that the structure that serves as excess glucose is glycogen. Yes, that's how glucose is stored in a what? That's how glucose is stored in a body. Is glycogen. Yes, someone said it. Clement. Thank you very much. And then they're saying that the pigment, the structure that serves as a microfilter during pregnancy. How do you call that? That is a placenta. Yes. Someone saying it. Kiarebu Hire. Yes. Kiarebu Hire. Thank you very much. Yeah, it is a placenta. Then they're saying that the pigmented layer of the eye that absorbs excess light. That is the choroid. If you don't know all these things, I'll show you exactly how to get it. They're saying that the part of the neuron that plays a role in speeding up, in the speed at which the nerve impulse is transmitted. Yeah, what determines the speed is the myelin sheath. Someone said it, but you are sheath is a sheath, not a sheet. Yes, I'm seeing something there is sheet, something like that, but it's supposed to have an H at the end. So I think you meant to do that, but when you're marking, guys, we have to look at what you have written, and in most cases, if it has a meaning somewhere else, you lose it. Yes. So the part of the male reproductive system where in which the part of the male reproductive system which temporarily stores sperms until they mature. That is where are the sperms stored? Someone is saying choroid. Yes. Yeah, sperms are stored in epididymis. I think 2 point. Yes, epididymis. epididymis. Yes, that's the correct answer. Thank you very much, D. Daily D. I think yeah is a right one. Yeah, all right. I think let's go back to reproduction. So I've tested you. I'm gonna test you again. Eh? Yes. Thank you very much. All right. Human reproduction. What are you supposed to focus on? The first thing you need to focus on so that we can score our 41 marks, this our 41 marks, is label the parts. Know how to label. That's obvious. I've found out that many girls know this structure more than the boys. I don't know why. You girls, you have to tell us why. I don't know why. But you have to know. Tell us. You see, this is it. Where is it? Yes, vas deferens. We call it vas deferens. Please don't call it don't call it please do not call it sperm duct. Yes, because it's not the only duct of sperm in this male reproductive structure. Yes. So please call it vas deferens. This is where sperms are stored, which we say that it is the epididymis. It's called epididymis. Then this is a testis, this is a scrotum. This is basically for protection and controlling the body the temperature of the testis, for skin sensitivity, urethra, transportation of the semen. Yes. Please, can you go back to 1.2.1.2? What's happening with it? 1. The duct that transports semen and urine out. Oh, the duct that transports semen and urine outside, yes, is called urethra. Yes, this is the part I'm talking about. Urethra. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sozo. Yes, Sozo. Yes. This one is saying peripheral nervous. Yes, correct. Sozo, thank you very much. Yes, it is called urethra. I think I skipped it. That's where I was also talking about now. All right, guys, make sure that you know this view. We like it because you know that you fail it. You know which parts do you fail? Yes, you fail the cowpass gland, the seminal vesicles, and the prostate gland. Those three glands are called accessory glands. Are called what? Accessory glands. These are glands. Let me show you how to identify them. If they bring them, let me zoom it out so that you are able to see. Look at this. If you start from the outside part, the first gland you find is a cowpass gland. Then you go, you find the second gland, you see, which you call the prostate gland. Basically, is the biggest gland in there. And then the last one, before you go inside, is called, it actually sometimes it looks like this. Looks like that. We call it the seminal vesicle. This one, the seminal vesicle, because the sperms are coming like this, it gives the sperms the nutrients so that they're able to swim, the energy. Then the prostate gland, this one, it provides alkaline fluid. And then prostate gland, cowpass gland, the one which is outside, it gives the sperm a lubricant. It gives a what? Gives a sperm, it makes it to be lubricant, so that when it's moving out, it's very fast. I don't know, yeah, but that's how it's supposed to be. Yes. So, and then we say that the prostate gland gives the alkaline fluid, which neutralizes the acidic nature of the vagina. They're going to ask you a question: which gland produces a fluid which neutralizes the acidic nature of the vagina? Or what is the function of the fluid produced by the prostate gland? Yes. So, in this structure, you guys fail this male reproductive structure more than the female. And you boys, you know the female more than the girls, while the males, they know the female more than the what? Yes. Anyway, that is it. So guys, the functions, I'm not going to talk about that much. Just know the structure and the function. The moment you know the structure, when they give you this diagram, label everything. You understand? Yes. The only part which confuses you is seminal vesicle, cowpass gland, and prostate gland. The rest, I think, is clear. Yes. So, here they're going to ask you a question. Why are the scrotum? Why are the testes? We call them testes. Some of you call them other names. If you call them other names, it's up to you. But you call them what? Testes. What is the difference in testes and testes? You have this. Yes. It's the same as that, but this is many testes. Yes. All right. Why are the testes hung outside the female's the male's body? Why do they hang outside? They hang outside to provide favorable temperature for sperm production. That temperature is 2 degrees less than the body temperature, meaning that around 35 degrees. Sperms are produced at a temperature lower than at a temperature 2 degrees lower than the body temperature. That's why you have to hang outside. When it's cold, yeah, outside is too cold. Now they have to go a little bit up. I wanted to say something about if you get married and you find a man in cold and he's big, hey, run away. Anyway, in cold is supposed to contract. It's supposed to be small. While, sir, can I get genetics? How can you ask genetics in paper one? Yes. While in summer, when it's supposed to be now big. Yes. So guys, that's it. Why do they hang outside? To provide favorable temperature for sperm production, which is 2 degrees less than the body temperature. Don't say that because you're right to say that 2 degrees less than. Less than what? 2 degrees less. Less than what? 2 degrees less than the body temperature. Guys, by the way, don't forget to subscribe, like, and also share. Like the video. Like the video. You lose anything when you like? Okay, when you like the video, yeah, you make me happy. All right. Someone, Christina is saying is a female. Is saying that yes, I know the male structure. Well, yes. So if they bring the male, make sure that you pass it, ne? Yeah, make sure that you pass it. I don't know. You're a moving textbook, but you don't know yourself. Yeah. All right. Functions of testosterone. Now the second function, the second thing they here to ask you is, what are the functions of testosterone? For secondary sexual characteristics, number 2 stimulates the maturation of sperms. That's it. Secondary sexual characteristics stimulates the maturation of sperms. The 3, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, Cowper's gland, we said we call them accessory. We talked about it. So that one is clear. So now I'm repeating before I go to the female. What do you need to know about the male reproductive system? Know the parts, how to label it. This view is very common. I'm not saying that it's the only one which is going to come, but make sure that you know it. You understand? Yes. Number 2, know the function. Please don't go without, because these ones, they confuse you. The 3 accessory glands. However much, yes, you can bring others, but those 3 accessory glands, they confuse you more. Why are the testes hung outside? They hang outside to provide favorable temperature for sperm production. Yes, which is 2 degrees less than the body temperature. That's it. What's the function of testosterone? The function of testosterone is to for secondary sexual characteristics, development of the secondary sexual characteristics, the characteristics which show that you are sexually mature. You are not mature in the country, but you are sexually mature. When you tamper with sex, if you're a lady, you're going to become pregnant. If you're a man, you're going to impregnate. That's it. That's the meaning. Yes. Then number 2, maturation of what? Maturation of sperms. Cool. Here, structure of the seminiferous tubes, you need to know only two things are needed there. The cells of Leydig and the satellite cells. That's it. Satellite cells are very important. What is it for? And cells of Leydig. We bring this in terminologies. Cells of Leydig, they produce testosterone. While satellite cells, they are very important for nourishing the developing sperms. Can you write the spelling down? Cells of Leydig. I don't know whether you create you say cells of Leydig. I don't know. Ne? Cells of Leydig. You understand? Yes. And then satellites cells. For what? Cells of Leydig are found here, and then the satellite cells are found here to nourish the what? The baby. Guys, you cannot go to the paper without knowing how to draw the structure of a sperm. How do I draw the structure of a sperm? And what do I need to know? And then once you know that, now the male reproductive structure is done. Even if they bring it like this, you're gonna score high. Structure of a sperm, and I'm gonna show you the question we ask you there. Let me show you. Structure of a sperm. Remember, sperm is like you. Yeah, I always tell you that you're a moving sperm. Don't quote me wrong that I said that you're a moving sperm. Don't quote me what? Don't quote me wrong. Yes. Oh. I'm saying that you're a moving sperm. You have a head. The sperm also has a head. I'm just drawing a simple structure. You have a head, the sperm also has a head. You have this neck, the sperm also has a neck, small neck. You have this chest, the sperm also has a middle piece. You understand? You have the legs, the sperm also has a tail. I'm just drawing it because the space is not enough. So you see that you're a moving sperm. On the top of the head, ne? You see now you are able to remember, ne? When you see the head, ne? You have hair. The sperm also has something here, which looks like the hair. Then inside the head, you have the brain, which control your activities. The sperm also has the nucleus, which control the activities. You see? In the chest, that's where the energy come from. That's where the energy come from. The sperm also has the energy in there. The structure is called the mitochondria. Use the legs to walk. The sperm also has the tail, which is used to. So when I say that you're moving sperm, am I wrong? Just asking. Yes. And don't be offended because you didn't come from a sperm. So this is a middle piece. You know how to do. It's a middle piece. This is a head. A, B, C. This is acrosome. D. This is the nucleus. E. This is inside there. You have the obvious, the cytoplasm. This is mitochondria. F. Yes. Now let's label together. A, head. B, middle piece. C, mitochondria. Ne? D, tail. E is nucleus. D is what? Acrosome. You understand? Now, from there, once you know how to label it, then now you need to know the function of each part. You need to know the function of what? Of each part. Yes. Let's look at the function of each part. The tail is to provide the propulsion force, forward movement. You understand? That's cool, I think. Yes. That's cool. Isn't it cool? Then the middle piece, yes, contains mitochondria, which provide energy still for movement. Isn't it? Yes. And then now we go to the head. The head has the nucleus, which contains what? Genetic information, for inheritance, and also nucleus controls the activities of the cell. Then also has the acrosome, which this acrosome is responsible for what? Is responsible for it contains enzymes which digest the membrane of the ovum during fertilization. Listen carefully. Acrosome does not digest the membrane of the ovum. These are the mistakes my students outside there do. That acrosome contains enzymes. No, acrosome digest the membrane of the ovum during fertilization is wrong. Chromosome contains enzyme. The enzymes are the one which digest the membrane of the ovum during fertilization. Chromosome is the mouth. You can't tell me that the mouth is the one which break down the food you put in. No, the mouth has teeth. The teeth are the one which break down. That's why if you don't have teeth, you eat like, isn't it? Yes. So the acrosome is the mouth. The teeth is the enzyme which is found in the acrosome. I think I'm clear there. So when they ask you, acrosome contains enzyme which digests the membrane of the ovum in fertilization. So what will happen if there is no acrosome? It means that the sperm will not fertilize. What will happen if the flagellum or the tail is short? It means that it won't move faster. What will happen if, you see, so we can bring an abnormal sperm and a normal sperm, and then we ask you some questions. Do you understand? Do you understand, guys? Yes. So that is the moving sperm, and that is the, I don't know who are you. Okay, someone is asking me, oh, all right. All right. Let's continue, guys. Yeah, let's continue to. So the male reproductive system is done. There is no way they're gonna ask you a question and that question is not covered there. Guys, this is a topic I repeat. You're supposed to score marks. You lose it, you have lost the paper. And the things I'm talking about now are the things you remember when they come. Yes. All right. Female reproductive structure is simple. Sometimes I call it, when you're like this, it means that. It's simple. The first one is the vagina. Sometimes it's called the birth canal. You can ask you the second name is birth canal. Vulva is the outside part of the vagina. Yes, when you squat, what you see outside is not a vagina, it's a vulva. You understand? Yeah, the vagina is where the, I don't know how you call it, me I call it zobza. That's where it goes. You understand? That length, that's what you call it. Because when they point it, you end up naming the vulva the vagina. Is wrong. Then the cervix is where the vagina separates from the uterus. You understand? So if you look at this, all that is the uterus. However, the uterus is divided into 3 parts. The first one is the uterine wall. The second one is the uterine cavity. The third one is the endometrium. So the endometrium, the uterine cavity, the space where the baby grows from is called the uterine cavity. When you call it uterus, still is fine. As long as they just labeled one. Uterine wall, this one, if you call it uterus, still is fine. They will give you a tick. You understand? Yes. So guys, make sure that at least if they label all of them, then that's when the challenge comes from. You understand? Yes. So this is fallopian tube. Fallopian tube, that's the site for fertilization. Ovary produces 2 hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Uterus is a site, that's where the developing embryo is situated, space where the embryo is situated, and implantation takes place on the other part, on other side of the, not other side, on the other part of the uterus, which is the endometrium. So it can, even this one is a uterus. This one is a uterus, this one is a uterus. They can ask you a head. So wait, this is not a head, because this is the head. Yeah, it has different sides. Yes. So 1, 2, 3, all of them are uterus. Cervix basically is protection and also very important, very important during the time of birth. And that's where the pain come from. Yeah. Don't want to talk about it. Yeah, because we just want to focus for 100% pass rate in life science. Yes. Functions of parts. Guys need to know the function. I've talked about it. Yes. Here, fallopian tube. site for fertilization. That's it. Ovary, I talked about, produces two hormones, progesterone, estrogen. You don't need to waste the time, guys. Ne? Uterus, we said it carries the developing baby, the embryo, and the fetus. It's the one which carries, yes. The vagina receives the penis. It's obvious. How can you fail the function of a vagina? Unless you are not giving birth. Where did you pass? Don't tell me that is C-section. All right. I'm talking about then where did you pass when you are going there, where you came, where you passed when you are going out through C-section. Yeah, you either pass when you're entering, or you passed when you're coming out, or you passed 2 times. Anyway, vagina is a passage for the baby during birth. That's why sometimes you call it birth canal. Guys, don't put feelings here, because this is now science and we need marks. It's not that I'm a bad guy. I'm just at the job. Imagine you go to the doctor, then this doctor is a gynecologist. What do you do? Tells you remove the trouser. You say I move the trouser. Remove the what? So you are so we will say that this doctor is bad. It's my job. All right. Anyway, what's happening is Las Vegas stays there. All right. We continue to say vulva. Yes, this is the opening. We talked about it. Cervix, we say that this allows, this stretches. Yes, it allows the baby to go through during birth. Yes, when you feel those pains, those pains. Oh, you guys, you must love your mothers. All right. Then we have the endometrium. Endometrium is this. Don't know why it's not showing. Yeah, but that's the endometrium. And then this is the ovary. Yes, that's the ovary. Yes. So endometrium basically is where implantation takes place. That's where implantation takes place. Someone is asking me, Z2, ZZ. Viviparas. Oh, you are giving me the other answers. Yeah, man. Thank you. ZZ. Someone saying my favorite. All right, guys. Thank you very much. By the way, did you know that you are my favorite students? You are my favorite students. Yeah. I'm your favorite teacher. You are my favorite student. All right, guys. Let's continue. So basically, that's the structure of a female. Boys, there is no way you can fail this. Huh? You fail a female reproductive system. Female reproductive structure. Why? For what reason do you give? You can't lie to me. But don't forget, guys. Stay what? Stay virgin. Because virginity doesn't lie. And virginity is dignity. It's not opportunity. It's dignity. If you are virgin, that's dignity. If you are not, sorry. If you lost it, start now. If you are married, cool. All right, let's continue. So basically, that's what we need to know about that. The second thing we need to know about is the structure of the ovum. Let me do it here. We saw the structure of the sperm. What about the structure of the ovum? I call it the eye. We use the ovum to see. Use the what? The ovum to see. To see what? To see what you see. You have the outer membrane. Let me draw it nice. You have the outer membrane. Yes. You have the inner membrane. Yes. You have the inside membrane. You understand? Yes. So basically, if you look at it here in our book for distinction material. Oh, by the way, I also talked about it. You see, you have the layer, you have the cytoplasm, and then you have the nucleus. So basically, that's what you need to know about the, yes. So basically, yeah. So the gel-like layer, those are the things which are there. The cytoplasm, that's where, and then inside there, you have the nucleus, and you know the function of the what? Of the nucleus. That's it. That's it. We don't want too much stories there. We don't want too much stories. Yes. So we are still focusing on those 40 40 minutes. So, yeah. So, we are saying that puberty, I'm not going to waste time there. Just here that we'll talk about it again. What is this? Development of the Graafian follicle, ovulation. People, if you are really struggling with human reproduction, here you can't leave this out. I'll show you if you are really struggling, you can leave it out for now and then get marked somewhere else. But this you have to get it. So you have the development of the development of the development of the Graafian follicle. Basically, the ovum is inside there. This is mature Graafian follicle, and then this is ovulation place. That's ovulation is taking place. And what happens? Yes. So, just a moment, guys. Yes, you got it. Let's label it. Let's label it. Let's label it. First of all, you have what is this? This is the developing Graafian follicle. What is this? This is a mature ovum. What is this? This is the mature Graafian follicle. What is this? That's the process of ovulation. That is this. This is the ovum has been released. What is this? This is corpus luteum. But the corpus luteum is changing the size. That is an indication that it indicates something. You understand? It indicates something. That indication, it means that the person did not is not pregnant. Ovum was not fertilized. You understand? So you need to know how to label this. After knowing how to label it, you need to know whether the person is the person became pregnant or the person is not pregnant. You understand? Yes. So you need to know that. All right. So basically, that is it. Puberty, that's not a big deal. You just look at yourself. What things do you have as a guy? What makes you to be a guy? Those are secondary sexual characteristics. And then in females, the same story. What makes you to be the way you are? The only thing I'm going to talk about in puberty, what causes puberty in female is estrogen. That's the hormone called estrogen. And what causes puberty in male is testosterone. We talked about it, secondary sexual characteristics. We talked about it. So now let's do a recap for female reproductive system. Let's do a recap. We said that know how to label. The second name for the vagina is a birth canal. Done with that. Know all the functions of the female reproductive system. Then now know how to label this and the functions. The functions, we can say that we will talk about it more, but the functions, know how to label everything. Know which hormone does Graafian follicle produce. It produces estrogen. Yes. And which hormone does progesterone produce? Sorry, corpus luteum. It produces. Yeah. I'm back. So basically, that's it. Oogenesis, spermatogenesis. Guys, you don't have a lot to talk about here. However much those books you are reading, they are talking about a lot. You don't need to talk about anything too much. What is gametogenesis? What you need to know is what is gametogenesis. Gametogenesis is divided into two. That is spermatogenesis and oogenesis. That's what I mean here. The gametes, gamete, from the word gamete. When you say gametogenesis, which means gamete, from the word gametes. So these gametes, you either produce the sperms or you're producing the ovum. You understand? So gametogenesis is divided into spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So when they say formation of gametes, that is gametogenesis. Formation of sperms, that is spermatogenesis. Formation of the ovum, that is oogenesis. That's it. That's it. Spermatogenesis in male, oogenesis in female. How do I know it is? You'll see at the end of the day, you have sperms. So that's spermatogenesis. You understand? Which hormone is responsible for this? Testosterone. You see, because we talked about it. That's why I say that please you need to know about that. Which hormone is responsible for this? Formation of the ovum. Yes. But what hormone is responsible for this? Is follicle stimulating hormone. You understand? It helps to stimulate this. You understand? To stimulate the development of this small cell which has to undergo mitosis, so that now this one cell will develop while the other three will undevelop or will remain small, which you call the polar bodies. So okay, I'm going to explain to you how to write in an exam. So when you talk about spermatogenesis, guys, yes, you talk about that under the influence of testosterone, the diploid cell in the seminiferous tube. In those tubes we talked about, yes, they undergo meiosis to form 4 haploid sperm cell. Simple. Don't write this spermatid, don't write this spermatozoa, spermatogonium. Don't talk about spermatocyte. We don't talk about nothing. You only talk about under the influence of testosterone. We give you a mark. The diploid cell, the cells with 2N, these ones, give you a mark. They undergo meiosis. Mark to form haploid sperm cell. That's it. Don't stress. Don't waste time. Yes. Then when you go to, don't think about this. The only thing, if they bring this, they can ask you how many number of chromosomes which are here, what is here. If you see 2N to N, automatically that is mitosis. If you 2N and 1N, that is meiosis. Yes, this is mitosis. And then now, if this is 20, automatically also this is going to be 20. It's got 2N to N. And then if this is 20, this is 1N, then this is going to be 10. Even this one is going to be 10, it's going to be 10, it's going to be 10, it's going to be 10. That's it. So here, when they bring this diagram, they're just asking you how many chromosomes are there. And they might not tell you that that is a human cell. Yes, it could be something else. So don't think that always you're going to bring a human cell. Yes. And then here, structure of a sperm, we saw it. Yes. Ovum, under the influence of FSH, the diploid cells still undergo, this diploid cell undergo mitosis. This mitosis, yes, form numerous follicle. Only one cell will enlarge to form a mature cell. So meaning that only one cell will enlarge, you understand, to form one mature cell. So it survives. These ones, they degenerate. You understand? And the one which survives is the one which makes to be the ovum. So you say that under the influence of FSH, the diploid cell in the ovary undergoes mitosis. When it undergoes mitosis to form, what does it form? Forms numerous follicles. Cool. One cell inside the follicle enlarges and undergoes meiosis now. Only one cell here will undergo meiosis. It will undergo meiosis 1, then undergo meiosis 2, and then now to produce only one. Yes, among the 4, only one which is produced survives to form a haploid mature ovum. That's why you produce one kid per reproductive cycle. If you produce twins, either the one sperm fertilize the ovum into 2 equal parts, you understand? Then you have identical twins. That's why you can never find an identical twin which is a boy and a girl. Never. Why? Because it is one sperm cell, one ovum. You understand? Then these other ones, maybe you super ovulate. You produce too many ova, meaning that you can produce more than that. That's when you can produce non-identical twins. That's what it means. So guys, that's it. Don't waste the time stressing too much. That's it. Yeah, just this, nothing else. Yes. So that is clear. So yeah, this is what I was talking about, the menstrual cycle. Here, I know that it's a problem to you, but if you see that this is a problem to you, find a way how you can get some few marks from there. If they bring a graph, get those marks. If they don't bring a graph, they bring something else, still get those marks. We either bring this or we bring this or we bring the graph. You understand? If they don't bring this, that, all these things, yes, it is very important, but you can look at the graph and then you are able to understand. You don't need to know all these things in yes, read them, ne? Read them. Yes. But I'm trying to show you that when you know this graph, automatically you know this, you know this, and you know this. Let me show you. If you look at this graph, question they can ask you: did the fertilization take place? If you look at this graph, you have to just look at what shows that fertilization took place. Before we talk about the hormones now, before we talk about what is it, what does it produce, we have not talked about that. Did the fertilization take place? You have three things to look at. Did the fertilization take place in these graphs? Three things to look at. First of all, look at the structure of corpus luteum. That's why I say that you need to know how to label this. I told you that. You need to know how to label that. Look at the structure. If the structure of corpus luteum degenerates, automatically fertilization did not take place. Look at it here. This is Graafian follicle, and then after ovulation, it's corpus luteum. Does it have the same size? No, it degenerates. So fertilization did not take place. And if fertilization did not take place, if corpus luteum degenerates, automatically look at the level of this yellow part, the level of progesterone, because corpus luteum produce progesterone. Check, it drops. So the level of progesterone also drops. Okay, simple. That's done. What about, look here, the endometrium? Did it shrink? Did it bring about blood? Was menstruation accompanied? Yes. Automatically, you can't be fertilized. You can't be pregnant at the same time you are undergoing menstruation. If you see that blood is something else, it's not menstruation. Yes. So if you have such, if you're a lady, you are outside there, you are pregnant, you can't be pregnant 2 times. Even if it is in the morning, evening, lunch, supper, never. You will never. I'm telling you, you will never. So if you see that blood coming out, just know that it's something else. It could be an infection. Yes, just go to the doctor or go to the pharmacist so that they can help you out. Ne? Don't sit there. We still want that baby, which is the baby who is inside there. Yes, all right. All right, we are saying that did the fertilization take place? Think about it. No. Why? Check. Corpus luteum. Did it degenerate? Yes. Didn't it degenerate? Did not take. It took place. Look at the level of progesterone. Did it go down? Yes. No fertilization. Is it going down? Yes. No fertilization. Is it up? Is it still up like this? Yes. Fertilization took place. Check about the menstruation at the end, not at the beginning, at the end. Yes. If menstruation is not there, is the endometrium shrinking? Starting, it's like a sponge. Is it shrinking? Yes. If it shrinks, fertilization took place. If not, don't think about it. It didn't take place. You understand? So that's how we try to label those questions. Now, another question they ask you: when did the ovulation take place? Ovulation in most cases takes place when you see that spike of a specific hormone spiking. Check this spike, that spike. That's when fertilization, that's when ovulation took place. You see, even there, the ovum is being released. Which hormone spikes out like that? It is luteinizing hormone, LH. When you say LH, we give you a mark. But it's better to write luteinizing hormone. But if it fails, guys, you are right, LH. Yes. It fails, right? Capital L, capital H. We give you a mark. Yes, so it is day 14. Now, what is the function of this? Why is it on day 14? It causes this ovulation take place. You see? And also changes this empty Graafian follicle to corpus luteum. Once this thing has been released. So it changes this empty graphene follicle, then it puts it to corpus luteum. I think I'm clear there. Eh? You are seeing how we can get marks from this without stressing that much. Because we're not going to ask you questions that describe the menstrual cycle. Those things were there before. Those are gone days. So basically, I'm not explaining the menstrual cycle, because if I'm supposed to explain the menstrual cycle, I'm supposed to explain very well. You understand? Yes. Please know the function. Know the hormone here. Check here. Check here. Check here. Check here. This hormone FSH works here. This hormone LH works here. This hormone works there. This hormone works there. So if it is before day 14, you cannot think about folliculosomatic hormone. You cannot think about, if it is before day 14, you cannot talk about luteinizing hormone. You cannot talk about progesterone. It must be towards day 14 and after. If it is after day 14, you cannot talk about FSH and estrogen. You can't, because these things, they work before day 14. You see, you just have to know how to manipulate this, and then you are able to obtain that distinction. You understand? Yes. So that's it. The last part on reproduction, what you need to know about reproduction, so that I give you some questions. Yes, is copulation. That's sex. Different ways how organisms can do sex. Humans, I don't include you, because we're not you're a disaster. What practice everything? Humans. All right, fertilization, you know that we talked about it. Process of fertilization, when they talk about the process of fertilization, you talk about the acrosome approaching, the sperm approaching the ovum, the acrosome fertilizing, releasing the enzymes. The enzymes digest the membrane of the ovum. The haploid nucleus of the sperm fuses with the haploid nucleus of the ovum to form a diploid zygote. Basically, that's what you need to talk about. Just think about the sperm coming, sperm coming, sperm coming, sperm coming. Remember, I told you a moving sperm. Yeah, so you are swimming in the swimming pool. You are going. The ovum is here. Automatically, you won't start with the legs. You start with the head. Once the head comes into contact, think about a mango. Yes, you are going. The mango is coming. You are bringing the mango. Coming to the mango. When you reach the mango, what do? You just mango. You are nice. You open the mouth, so that now the acrosome breaks, so that the enzyme is released. That enzyme is released on the mango. On the what? On the ovum. You open the mouth so that you can bite. You understand? How they bite? You understand? Yes. So it's the same thing. When the sperm swims. When it reaches there, automatically, once it releases the enzymes. Once the enzymes are released, automatically, what happens? It digests the membrane of ovum. The haploid nucleus of the sperm will fuse the haploid nucleus of the ovum to form a diploid zygote. That's fertilization. Guys, life science is easy. Right? Why is it easy? If it is difficult, you have to first love it. When you love it, it will love you too. It will love you too. All right. So lastly, I'm talking about this. Make a mistake. Make a mistake, you go to the paper without knowing that. Make a what? Make a mistake. You go to the paper without knowing that. That will be a major or terrible mistake. So here, the sperm fertilizes the ovum. What does it form? It forms a zygote. We call this a zygote. The zygote, look, this zygote will undergo what we call mitosis. You understand? When it undergoes mitosis, it forms, remember mitosis, one cell divides from two cells they divide from four cells. So it ends up forming a ball of cells. That ball of cells we call it morula. The morula undergo mitosis repeatedly to form a halo. It has a space. It has a space inside. Form a halo ball of cells, which called blastula. The blastula now forms finger-like outer layer, which called the chorion. Remember, I told you that the outermost membrane, embryonic membrane is called the chorion. So we call it chorion. It forms the outer layer called the chorion. You understand? Forms what? The outer layer called what? Chorion. That chorion forms finger-like projection. This chorion forms finger-like projection. Yes, those finger-like projection, we call them chorionic villi. That's when maybe you start vomiting in the morning. Yeah, when you are pregnant. Yeah, you are feeling the pain. Why? They are entering you. Yeah, you know how they enter, unless you have never been pregnant. If you have ever, yeah, you know how it feel like. Yeah. So now those finger-like projection. When you are writing these papers, you must start thinking about it if you have ever experienced it. Oh, yeah, finger-like projection. When they become there, then this part is one which becomes the placenta. So how do we mark? After fertilization, this is the 1N, 1N. When they fertilize, you form the 2N. 2N, it means that this zygote is 2N. It undergoes mitosis. This is also 2N to form a ball of cell. So when you are marking, this is what you are looking for. Let me clear up for you, and then you are able to understand what I'm saying. Let me clear up for you, and then you understand what I'm saying. So what I'm saying that after fertilization, a zygote, we give a mark for that. A zygote undergoes mitosis, we give a mark to form a ball of cell. You saying a ball of cell, where is it? Ball of cell. This ball of cell, we give you another mark. Yes. And how do you call that ball of cell? Called the morula. We give you another mark, which undergo mitosis to form a halo. This one, the halo, this space, we want to see it. Halo ball of cell. How do you call that halo ball of cell? Blastula. We give you another mark, which forms the chorion, the outer layer, which call the chorion. We give you another mark, which forms finger-like projection. Finger-like projection, which we call the chorionic villi. We give you another mark. What is the finger-like projection used for? It's used for implantation. We give you another mark. How many marks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So see, we only want maybe 4. Simple. Yeah, guys, reproduction. That's it. The remaining part of reproduction is this one. And this one, let me show you what to do here. That's it. And then you have your 41 marks. Let me show you. They ask you this question. Let me show you. Look at this diagram. Let me make it bigger so that you can see it clearly. Yes. They can ask you. You see now the sperm. This is the uterus. They come like this. This is a sperm. This is sperm. This is the ovum. No. Yes. Let me show you. That's a sperm. This is a sperm. Yes. But now this is a sperm. It moves. It moves there. It passes there. It moves. It finds there. So this is a corpus luteum. The ovum has been released. The ovum will find with the sperm. So fertilization takes place there. Then now this fertilization. Now this one starts to divide. So this is a zygote. Then now zygote forms 2 cells. These 2 cells will undergo mitosis to form a ball of cells, which called the morula. Yes, so it's still, I can maybe count the cells, but it can be a morula, and then this is a supermorula. You can see, yeah, that's morula. Yeah, and then now the morula will see that now the blastula is formed. It formed, but it's starting to implant itself. You see, and then now implantation has taken place there. You see, yes. So basically, I can ask you how many cells, number of chromosomes are here. This is 1N, meaning that is 23. And then how do you call this process? Is fertilization. How many chromosomes are in here? It is 2N, which is a zygote, which is 2N, meaning that is 46. And then yes, how do you call this structure which is formed? So we just keep on manipulating questions so that we go off. But you guys, the way how I trust you now, yeah, you are able to get those marks. Guys, what is the function of the placenta? Nutrition. You can talk about all the processes you have in the body. Yes, I talk about nutrition, that is feeding, protection, like the skin, gaseous exchange, that's breathing, excretion, that's when you're going to caca, and then sweating. Or the placenta does everything for the baby. Yeah, endocrine function, that is secretion of hormones. So placenta does everything. The only thing which you guys don't talk about and you're always forgetting is the function of the amniotic fluid. Function of amniotic fluid. You students were always forgetting and confusing this. The function of amniotic fluid is not against the mechanical, is not providing nutrients, because you see it's a fluid, so you think that it is for nutrition. Shock absorber, prevent dehydration, temperature regulation, yeah, pH, you understand? So when a pregnant lady has maybe something which takes her, what how is this lady going to be protected? Is going to be protected by this fluid. Remember, a fluid liquid is incompressible, so is able to be protected. Yes. So basically that is it. Let's go to our questions now, guys. Let's go to our questions. Last time we saw that one. Can I give you another one? Yes. So I'm gonna give you two, 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 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to write for me there. We're gonna go through them, but we want to see those who have got it right. 2 minutes. Yeah. 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. It's nice to be you, ne? All right. Anyway, that guys, ne? The first one is saying the process of maintaining a constant environment. Process of maintaining a constant internal environment. Someone said what? Oh, guys, thank you very much for your answers. At least I see you guys. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Eh? Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. So the process of maintaining a constant internal environment is called homeostasis. That one is called homeostasis. So anyone who said that? Good. I'm seeing people say it. The organelles found in large quantities in the neck region of the sperm cell. You see, we talked about them. Yes, we say that those organelles are called mito. Large quantities, we call them mitochondria. See, we say them here. Here, you see, say them here. Yes. They're saying that, so that is done. They're saying that the disease characterized by the degeneration of the brain tissue leading to memory loss. Yes, someone said Alzheimer's disease, correct. So we're gonna look at it. Yes, so this one is also covered. Layer of the eye that is richly supplied with blood vessels. That is choroid. Did someone say that? Yeah, someone said it. Thank you. The layer in the eye that is richly, okay, we've done that. The type of development in birds in which young ones are born fully developed, born prepared. So it must start with the word precocial. Did someone say that? Yeah, someone said it. Precocial. Then they're saying that the group of the cell in the pancreas that secrete insulin and glucagon. Isolates of Langhans. Someone said that? Yes, someone said it. You guys were good students, and you're gonna make it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. They're saying the structure in the sperm cell that contain enzyme to dissolve the outer membrane of the ovum. The structure in the sperm cell the structure that contains, you understand? Yes, we said it here. We said it here that this structure, yes, it contains enzyme which digests the membrane of the ovum so that fertilization can take place. Correct, which is acrosome. People are giving me the correct answers. Acrosome. Yeah, I will teach you every day, I think. Hey, because I like people who are always participating. Yes. Then you're saying that a group of cells, we are done that. Structure of a sperm cell that contain enzyme, we've done that. Blood vessel that transport carbon dioxide from the fetus to the placenta. Blood vessel that transport carbon dioxide from the fetus to the placenta. Yes. When you are transporting carbon dioxide from the fetus to the placenta, away from the heart, if it is away, it is an artery. So it is going to become umbilical artery. Hey, did someone say that? Umbilical artery. McFerry. Yes, McFerry got it right. But please check about the spelling, ne? The word artery, ne? Yes. Artery. It has an R at the beginning between A and T, ne? Artery. Alright, guys. Yeah. Now, these are terminologies. 10 of them, they will come. Make sure you pass them. Make sure you pass them. Because now I want to go to we are done with this. We are done with this. I want to go to these ones now. So that now we have our 95 plus 8. At least we have 100 and yeah, 5, 8, 103. Yes. At least there we know that we're a little bit safe. Yes. Guys, now this section, before I go to the next topic, what to focus on, this section, this is how we answer it. No, before I tell you what to do, can you answer for me 1 point? Can you answer for me this? I'm giving you 1 minute. 1 minute, then I will do with you that. 1 minute, please answer for me that. Answer. Yes, I'm not even going off. I'm waiting for answers. 1.3, one boss. Okay. By the way, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Kio Kio Lebe Kio Lebuhile, ne? Yeah, thank you. Members. That small contribution means a lot to us, ne? I'm seeing a lot of members here. Honsi is also a member. I see a lot of members here, ne? Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, that small contribution makes our channel to grow and buy data so that we can streamline for you guys. Yeah, that is not too much, ne? Yeah, it's not too much. All right, guys, ne? Yeah, I'm seeing answers coming. Mobile, Ngoma, Ngema, ne? Guys, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrongly, ne? Yeah, all right. Guys, I've got what I wanted now. Let's go now. 1.1. Extra embryonic membrane found in amniotic egg. Extra embryonic membrane found in amniotic egg. Remember I told you about the membranes? Yes. So this is the answer is both. The answer is what? Let me just write here. Oh, sorry. I thought I'm cleaning up candy. The answer is both A and B. That's the answer. If you wrote both, it's wrong. If you wrote A and B is wrong. We cross it. You understand? Because the instruction is saying write both A and B. Do you see how you lose marks? Yes, that's how you lose marks. Then you're saying that structure in the ear that absorbs excess pressure wave from the cochlea. The structure which absorbs excess pressure, yeah, they're saying pinna and then auto nerve. No, they're saying absorb. It's the round window, so it's not here. So the answer is none. You understand? Yes. Then they're saying that the structure that transports semen out of the body. So this one, now you see now, any question which is related to reproduction, you are able to answer it. It's urethra. So the answer is B only. You see, if you wrote B, is wrong. Yes, it must have the word only. You must have to follow the instructions. You understand? You have to follow the what? The instructions. A only, B only, both A and B, or none. If you change the style, we don't give you anything. You understand? We don't give you anything. Thank you very much, guys. I'm seeing the answers are flowing like water. Ne? Yes, they are flowing like what? Thank you very much, guys. This one, process that produce for mature gamete in human from a single diploid cell. The process that produce for mature gametes. Yes, gametes, they are saying for mature. In this case, we are looking from a single diploid cell. Yes, both of them are producing the gametes, but only spermatogenesis. You see what I told you about the spermatogenesis? I said that it produces 4 sperm cells. 4 sperm cells. You see, each one is only one, while this one produces 4 of them. This is what they are saying, 4 of them. See? Yes. So that's what they are looking at. So the answer is B only. Yes. They're saying that defense mechanism that protect the plant against herbivore. We're gonna look at them, but they are saying defense mechanism, a defense mechanism that protect against herbivore. Both of them are defensive mechanisms. You understand? But herbivore, to eat them is basically you are talking about the thorns. Yes. So the answer is gonna be A only. The nerve that transmits impulse from retina. The nerve that transmits impulse from the retina to the brain is optic nerve. So the answer is A only. So basically, that is it. That's what you're supposed to look at. So yeah. Okay. Introduction. Let's do this one together. When you talk about what is A, you see now we talked about it. What is A? A is Z. How do you write it? Look at the first gland is called seminovesical. Check. So it's the first gland, meaning that A is seminovesical. The second gland is the prostate gland. They talked about it. The last gland before you go out, it is the Cowper's gland. You see? Yeah. So basically, it's a Cowper's gland. This is prostate gland. This is seminovesical, and then this one is what? This one is the testis. So part A is seminovesical, hormone produced by B, testis obviously. So automatically the answer is going to be what? It's going to be testosterone. Explain one function of the fluid secreted by prostate gland. You see, function produced by the prostate function is to neutralize the acidic nature of the vagina. Yeah. So that is it. Then we go to yes. Yeah, I will talk about the other one when we reach there. So let's here in a human response to environment. Remember we said that the marks you're gonna find there is 54 marks. So if it is 54 marks, 54 marks, guys, 54 marks is a lot. So basically here what you need to know is central nervous system, peripheral nervous system. What's the difference? The central nervous system is made up of the brain, is made up of the what? This brain and the spinal cord. While peripheral nervous system is made up of these other nerves which come from the brain and the spinal cord. That is it. Central nervous system, what is made up of? Peripheral nervous system, what is it made up of? Yes, brain, spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system, we talk about other spinal nerves. So that's the first thing. The second thing you need to know, how is the brain protected? The brain is protected by the cranium. How is the brain protected? It is protected by the cranium, by the meninges, and then by the cerebrospinal fluid. That's it. How is the brain protected? It's by the cranium, meninges, cerebrospinal fluid. How is the spinal cord protected? The spinal cord is protected by the cerebrospinal fluid and the vertebra. So it's cerebrospinal fluid. That's why it's called the cerebral, which is a part of the brain, and then spinal, which is a part of the spinal cord. Yes. There's a difference between the spinal cord and the spine. Because the spine is this thing you see. So it's better to call it the vertebra. Ne? Yes. So from there, you need to know about the brain. What do you need to know about the brain? Labeling. This one is simple. Just label the structure of the brain. The biggest part of the brain is cerebrum. I did this on Study With Me. Yes. You have the hypothalamus. It's simple. What does it do? At least you know two functions of each. Don't go to the paper without knowing two functions of each. Know two functions of each. Please. Yes. So at least know two functions here, two functions here, two functions here, two functions here, two functions here. But what confuses students more is when sensation, because we know that this cerebrum receives and interprets all the sensation. So now in this case, they don't say all sensation. They say they bring someone is seeing, which part of the brain is responsible for that. You talk about seeing is a sensation. Sensation is controlled by cerebrum. You understand? Then number two, what students confuse, they can't differentiate between medulla oblongata, spinal cord, and the pons. Pons. This is the pons. We're no longer asking it. The second swelling is the medulla oblongata. Then just down is the spinal cord. So students don't differentiate between the spinal cord and the medulla oblongata. Remember the function of medulla oblongata. It transmits impulse between the spinal cord and the brain. So it means that it is almost the same area. You understand? Yes. So that is the medulla oblongata. So guys, you need to know the functions and the part. Function and the part on the brain. Know how the brain is protected. Don't go to the paper without knowing it. Don't say that the brain is protected by the skull. I think I forgot about that. The skull. Don't say the skull. Say protected by the cranium, because I explained that very well, that cranium is different from the skull. The brain box is what called the cranium, but the whole thing here is what called the skull. So how is the brain protected? Is protected by the cranium, not the skull. So some questions can ask you such questions. What is A? A is a spinal cord. B is medulla oblongata. E is cerebellum. D is cerebrum. E is corpus callosum. You don't have to know the functions of each. Corpus callosum allows communication between two hemispheres and then joins the two hemispheres together. This one, you have to know them. Yeah, it receives and interprets all the sensation, and then it is a center for higher thought processes. It controls all voluntary actions. So you have to know them. You have not at them. You them. You understand? You cannot go without knowing the brain. How is it protected? And then number two. So that one is done. Peripheral nervous system, what you need to know mostly is the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, whereby peripheral nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic, that's what called the autonomic nervous system, which called the fight or you flight. You either flight or you fight. This is also work together with the adrenaline. These two muscles, they work antagonistically. They work in opposite way. So basically, that's what you need to know. Not that much about this. Is it clear? Yes. What are some of the effects of adrenaline or some of the effects of sympathetic nervous system? We usually ask you this. Ask you this more than this. So it's the same thing. Sympathetic, if you just think about the sympathetic or the effect of adrenaline increases the heart. No, don't even waste time. Yeah, think about the lion comes. What do? You open the eyes, the pupil dilates. The heartbeat, how does it beat? It starts to beat fast. You see, if it beats fast, what does it mean? Oh, yeah, you see that those things you do in terms of emergence is what you explain. You understand? Vessels of the skin, they constrict, meaning that less blood flows there. How do you feel? You feel energetic. You want to fight. Ne? Yes. It means that now it's flowing through the, through the brain and what is flowing through the brain and what and the flowing through the brain and the muscles, so that now more oxygen is taken to the brain and think very fast. How am I going to go out? So all those are the. So if you check here, heartbeat increase, the blood vessels of the skin constrict, increase in the blood pressure. You see the relaxation. You end up even urinating yourself because the bladder, you don't know. Yes, the people dilates you. Yeah, someone was asking me a question. Why is it that a person who is in love with someone, the people dilate when you look into the eyes? They dilate, yes, because you are like in an emergency. Yes, you are like you are uncomfortable. Yes, so adrenaline is being released in the body. You understand? So those things you have to know them, you guys, ne? Yes. So basically, that is it. That's what you need to know about it. Then you need to know the structure of a neuron. This one, guys, you need to know them. Structure of a what? Of a neuron. This one. You need to know the structure of a neuron. The dendrite, the cell body, the axon, the myelin sheath. Please know, dendrite transmits impulse towards the cell body. When now done with the cell body, the part which transmits impulse away from the cell body, that's the axon. You understand? Yes. The part which speeds up the transmission of impulse, that's the myelin sheath. Yes, what we are talking about there. You see? Someone is saying, is parasympathetic voluntary action? No. Sympathetic and parasympathetic, those are involuntary actions. You do them without your own will. Yes, those are involuntary actions. So, myelin sheath, we saw that. Cell body, that's where the nucleus is formed. So basically, cells activities and then also inheritance. That's genetics. So you cannot go to the paper without knowing two cells. That is the sensory neuron and, sorry, the motor neuron and the sensory neuron. This one you don't usually ask you. And what's the difference? Here, the cell body is along the neuron, the cell body is at the terminal. You see? So, you tell us the at least two differences between the two. Know how to draw A and B. Know how to draw that. Please don't go the paper without knowing how to draw that. Eh? Yes. So, three neurons, sensory neuron, interneuron, and then motor neuron. This and this, they belong to peripheral nervous system. This one belongs to central nervous system because it's inside the central, is a part of, an integral part of what? Central nervous system. Central nervous system. So basically, please don't go to the paper without knowing how to draw this structure and this structure. Make sure that you know how to differentiate the two. Reflex arc. You can leave the rest, but you can't leave the reflex arc. Don't make a mistake. questions I told you when I was even on study with me. Reflex arc. What is a reflex arc? Path traveled by the impulse during the reflex action. What is a reflex action? It's a rapid automatic response to the stimulus. Examples of reflex action: blinking of the eye, knee jerk, touching, withdrawal of the hand from the hot object. These things you must be singing them. What is the function of the reflex action? Is to protect the body against further harm. Yes, maybe it can be harmed, but it protects the body from further harm or from danger. Yeah, because you blink the eye so that that thing which is coming is dangerous, and you do it without your will. That's why you say that it's a rapid, automatic, or it's a rapid, fast, involuntary action. You see, yes, you have to be able to answer that, and it's always negative. You cannot say that, oh, this hot thing is nice. No, you can't do that. When you touch the hot object, whether it's a baby or what, the answer negative. You withdraw. When you step on a sharp object, the answer is negative. Remove the leg. When the stone comes into your eyes, you can't say, oh no, the stone is coming. Yeah. No, 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 no. It's negative. So meaning that its essence is to protect your body from that danger which is coming. That's why you're saying that from further harm or from danger. Mm. So guys, I think I'm clear there. So you need to know how to. Then what you need to know about the reflex action also, what will happen if the sensory neuron is damaged, the motor neuron is working. What will happen is if the motor neuron is damaged, the sensory neuron is working. What is the function of, so all those things. Organize a simple question here for you. Yes, here is the reflex arc. So you have to know how to label. This is the, we talked about it last time. This is this it's a sensor because this is the receptor. So automatically, you guys don't forget about my handwriting. Leave alone. Um, receptor. Yes, that's the receptor. And then now this is the sensory neuron. Sensory neuron. And then now it enters here when it comes like this. Yes, so this is the ventral root, the dorsal root G. Let me first clear it up. This is the dorsal root. It's the dorsal root. And then now this swelling is called a ganglion, dorsal ganglion. Then now you have here this one is the interneuron. Then you have the junction here and the junction here. Let me clean it up so that you're able to see. There's a junction where this neuron joins this and this neuron joins this. If you look at this book, you can see the junction here. Yeah, sometimes we call it the synaptic, yeah, the synaptic gap. Yeah, synaptic gap. In real science, we call it synaptic cleft. So, but here in your level, we call it synaptic gap. So it's to neuron. Its name is a synapse. So synaptic cleft is a part of a synapse. But now we call it that synaptic, that space. Yes, we call it, that's where the two neurons join. So we call it a what? A synapse. So that's a synapse. Also, that's a synapse. This is the ganglion I'm talking about, because this the middle, the cell body is in the middle. So it means that this is a sensory neuron, and then this is the motor neuron. So basically, that is it. And then now you have to label this. So this is the connector neuron, and then this is the spinal cord, that is the synapse. You see, so you have to know how to label this, guys. Please don't go to the paper without knowing how to label. Then lastly on this, what will happen? What will happen if sensory neuron is damaged but the motor neuron is working? If the sensory neuron is damaged, the person will not be able to feel because it is damaged, but he will be able to respond. And if the motor neuron is damaged, the person will not be able to feel. No, the person will be able to feel, but won't be able to respond. That's how you're supposed to the stimulus. That's how you're supposed to answer those questions. If the motor is the one which is damaged, you can't send the information to the muscles. You understand? So it means that you will be able to feel the pain, but you won't be able to respond. You understand? Muscle pull. Yes, you are feeling the pain, but you can't do the leg. And then your sensory is damaged. You won't be able to feel, but you'll be able to respond. I told you, removing a tooth, they inject you with the chemicals there. You are able to, when they ask you to that open the mouth, you're able to open the mouth, but when you are they are removing the tooth, you can't feel the pain. You see, so you are able to respond, but you are not feeling. That's what is happening. Label. So we have labeled them microscopic gap. You see, microscopic gap. This one, that's gap which you call the synapse. And then you need to know the function of the synapse. We say that allows impulse to move in one direction. That is the major function of the synapse. Number two, it prevents continuous stimulation of the organs or structures. Yes, because it keeps on stimulating. So explain one consequence if A is damaged. It's the same thing which we talked about. A is a sensory neuron. Why? Because you see it has a swelling here, so it's a sensory neuron. So it means that you will be able to respond, but you won't be able to feel because it is damaged. You can't feel. The impulse cannot move from here. So you'll be able to feel. You won't be able to feel, but you'll be able to respond. Give two examples of reflex action. We talked about it. Knee jerk, bring of the eye, withdraw of the hand from the hot object, all that. So please don't go to the paper without knowing this structure. Draw the labeled diagram of neuron B. You come out here and then you find out what is neuron B. You see, that is the motor neuron. So that's why I told you that, guys, don't go to the paper without knowing how to draw A and B. You see? Yes. Then that is the reflex arc. How do you explain the transmission? Yes, you explain transmission from here, the impulse enters here, you talk about how it moves. That is what is being written here. But as long as you know the other one, at least you know some marks. There's no way how you're gonna fail. The significance of the reflex action we talked about allows impulse, yes, to move very quickly and protect the possible danger. You understand? For injury. So we talked about it. I said this is a synapse, but know the function of the synapse. The junction, what is a synapse? Is the junction between, but the major function allow impulse to move in one direction and also prevent continuous stimulation of the neuron. So guys, I think I'm clear. You see even there, if you check the questions, you will be able to understand. If they bring it like this, still you are able to answer it. Why? Because this is the cell body. It's along the neuron. Definitely this is the sensory neuron. And then this is the cell body is at the terminal. So it means that the impulse are moving in that direction. See? Yes. So that is Alzheimer's disease. We talked about them even in the terminologies. Alzheimer's disease, that's when you are always forgetting everything. And then multiple sclerosis, and then it means that your memory is being destroyed. While multiple sclerosis, the myelin sheath, this outside part of the is being damaged. You understand? So we talked about this, guys. I think that now you are getting it there. The eye. What are you supposed to focus on? Two things. If you want to get a distinction, you cannot go to the paper without knowing two things. I'm not going to go through them. Yes. Know the function of the part of the eye. Know the functions of the eye. Yes. If you don't have, there is a very simple video, 70 minutes. Yes. Watch it. I explained everything. Know the function of the eye. Then know pupillary mechanism and accommodation. This one. Accommodation. Accommodation, you cannot go to the paper without knowing accommodation. When you are memorizing, label, answer only one. If you know the nearby object is the opposite for far object, and you know that it's only nearby object if it is less than 6 meters. It is a far object more than 6 meters. You understand? So a nearby object, 6 meters. Far object, more than 6 meters. I think guys, you need to know that. Memorize one. How do I know it is about accommodation? When are they talking about accommodation? When they talk about the lens, please don't say pupillary mechanism. When they talk about the lens, the answer there is accommodation. When they talk about suspensory ligaments, when they talk about this thing, that is accommodation. When you are answering, you must answer based on suspensory ligament, ciliary muscles, lens. Other things, no. When they talk about iris, this other one now, when they talk about this, yeah, when they talk about this, yes, and discuss space, that space, then that's when you talk about pupillary mechanism. I think guys clear there, ne? Yes. You must talk about now pupillary mechanism. But if they talk about the lens, please, guys, there's nothing I'm gonna change there. Ciliary muscles contract, suspensory ligament slacken. Guys, don't use relax. Use the word slacken. Slackens. It does slackens. It doesn't what? Doesn't relax. And then now the tension on the lens decreases. It means that there was too much pressure on the lens, but now it decreases. Now the lens becomes big, and then the more light is reflected to the retina, or reflected more to the, then the clear image is focused onto the retina. So that's it. That's it. Yeah. Mm. So near object, distant object. That one is simple. Pupillary mechanism is a simple thing. We have two muscles, two conditions. We have radial muscles, radial muscles, radial muscles, relax. Sacral muscles, contract. So radial, we have two muscles. We have the radial muscles, we have the sacral muscles. We have relax, we have contract. When it is dim, you mix things up. When it's bright, you don't mix things up. So in a bright light, we don't mix them up. So R is gonna go with R and the C is gonna go with the C. Radial muscles, relax. Sacral muscles, contract. When you look into the light like this or the sun, what do you do? Do you put those things? The eyes open like this when you're looking to the sun? No, you close the eyes. When you close the eyes, what happens? It means that the pupil constrict. So in the bright light, the pupil constrict. See? Now you know that. So radial muscles relax, sacral muscles contract. The pupil, diameter of the pupil constrict. If you constrict the pupil, this light will enter the eye. That's it. Yes. So guys, that's it. Yeah. So guys, that's what you're supposed to know. So make sure that you know the dim light and the bright light. Is it clear? Yes. Then we go to defect. Eye defect. If you are short, you are able to see near object. If you are short sight, you are able to see near object. If you are far object, you are able to see far objects. You understand? Yes. So, but what causes? If you see the image is focused, check. If you are near, how do we bring these questions? We just bring a small scenario and we ask you 1 or 2 marks. So if you are short sight, it means that you are able to see objects which are near. If you are long, it means that you're able to see objects which are far. How do I know that this is short sight? What causes that? Eyeball too long. It means that the image is formed before, because the eyeball is too long. You can't jump through the what, just jumping the river. You can jump this the small maybe stream, but the river is too big, so you will end up not making a full jump, like to the other side of the bank. Understand? Yes. That's the same thing. So the image is focused. The eyeball is too long. The image is from before. And then how do you correct that? We have to make a diverging lens, which we call the concave lens. Then long sight, long sight, long sight. Long sight is you able to see near far object, but won't be able to see near object. Make sure that um long sight, you're able to see. What causes that? What causes that? It caused by the eyeball is too short. The eyeball is what? Is too short. If it's too short, it means that the image is focused onto the retina, behind the retina. You won't be able, the image is focused. So you have to bring it back. When you bring it back, you have to use a convexy, and so that when the light comes like this, it bends it. While here, the image is formed at where? Here. So it's too long. You understand? So it means that you have to put a diverging lens here, so that when the light comes, it diverges it a bit, so that now the image is focused here. So basically, that is it. Astigmatism uneven. This is very common in older people. And the treatment, contact lenses. Yes. Yes. You form multiple images. For example, you have a mirror, break it, you're gonna form very many images. That's what happens with astigmatism. Cataracts, the lens crystallizes. Yes. How do you treat it? Surgery. You go for surgery. Yes. So basically, those are the eye defects. They are simple, very common to cataract. They like cataracts more. They like cataracts, guys. Cataracts, they like cataracts. Make sure that at least you know you go when you know that. Here is some question you can practice. Make sure you practice them if you have time. Explain the effect of the person's if E is cut. Where is E? What happens if you cut the optic nerve? Automatically, the impulse won't be sent to the retina. It's not retina, the brain. Part of the brain, cerebrum, because this is a sensation, meaning that impulse won't be able to, and then it means that you won't be able to see. Yes. Part D can be damaged very bright. Part D, which part D? Yes, the retina can be damaged by very bright light. Describe how part A helps to protect part D in a very bright light. You see, now you are explaining bright light. Remember, bright light, you don't mix things up. So you're gonna go R with R, C with C. Yes. So it can do this yeah, so it contracts, and then now so that less light will enter the eye. Remember, the diameter of the pupil will constrict. You see? And then now less light will enter the eye. Less light. LL, less light will enter the eye. So basically that is it. In a condition called presbyopia, lenses lose their elasticity and therefore maintain a constant flat shape. Explain how the condition would affect the person's vision. It's a constant flat shape. If it is a constant flat shape, it means that if it is like that, it won't be able to see. You'll be able to see a person maybe who is far, and then you won't be able to see a person who is near. It means that it won't be able to adjust from far to near or near to far. You understand? So you explain. Suggest the shape. It's not exactly which is coming, because this is in the distinction material book, but you have to know how to apply these questions. Suggest the shape of the lens that may be prescribed a doctor to correct this disorder. So it means that now you are able to see objects which are far, but you won't be able to see objects which are near. So automatically you have what is happening. It means that you are long sight, and the long sight, we say that what you do, you put on the convex lens. So that's what they are trying to give you. And so when they bring the questions on the eye, people they tend to be too difficult. but no pupillary mechanism, no accommodation. Please don't know the functions of the eye. Sorted. Know the reflex arc. You understand? Know the reflex arc. Know the true structure of the neuron. Know the brain. Know how brain is protected. What is the function of the synapse? What is the reflex action? What is the reflex action? What is the examples of reflex action? Function of the synapse. You talk about what will happen if this is damaged. This is working. The neuron, the sensory neuron is damaged. The motor neuron is damaged. So simple thing. You'll be able to get distinction. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Yes, I have less than 30 minutes to finish everything. I mean, here, simple. Label the part, function. Label the part, function. Hearing process, label part A, give the function. Label part B, give the function. Label part C, give the function. Label part D, like that, until you reach to the brain. Label the part A, function. Label part B, like the way how it moves, like this. Hearing is done. Simple. Hearing is done. The only thing which disturbs students here is balancing is the problem with the students. Yeah, so balance is the problem here, but here, which organelle, which receptor are found in the cochlea, organ of Corti, which receptors are found in the semicircular canal, is the maculae and cristae. Those are the two organelles. Those are two receptors which are found in there. You understand? Yes. So the only problem where you find the questions which come here. Okay, let me say it. You cannot go to the paper. Eh? Let me even zoom in. You cannot go to the paper without knowing these parts. The function of that G and the part. Eh? These two windows, most especially the round window. You can't go to the paper without knowing that. You can't go to the paper without knowing this part. Yes. Oscos. What is it for? Amplification of sound. You can't go to the paper without knowing that. Yes, we like it. Oval window, round window is absorb the excess pressure or releases excess pressure from the inner. Even the question is asked there. Yes, was it? Yeah, it was asked. It was asked. Mm, yeah, it was asked. I don't remember where, but we talked about it. We talked about it. So this is also another question for the. Yeah, this is what I've described. Yes, yes. I don't remember where I saw it. Okay. Then they are saying that balance. When you talk about balance, is a simple thing. You need to know the stimulus. You need to know the receptor. You need to know the location. Speed and direction controlled by the crystal. Macula found in the ampulla. Position of the head is maculae, found in the circulus and auriculus. So what do you say? You say changing the speed and stimulates. Changing the speed and direction of the head stimulates the crystal found in the ampulla of the semicircle. Change in the position of the head stimulates the macula found in the circulus and auriculus of the semicircular canal. The stimuli is converted into a nerve impulse which move along the auditory nerve to cerebellum for interpretation. That's it. We don't want a lot Change in speed and direction of the head stimulates the crystal found in the ampere of the semicircular canal, comma. Change in the position of the head stimulates the macula found in the circulus and the auriculus of the semicircular canal, comma. The stimulus is converted into a nerve impulse, which is sent along the, which is sent to cerebrum for interpretation to restore balance. You understand? That's what you are looking for, nothing else. Yes. So the defects of the eye, of the ear, is also simple. How do you do these defects? Defects of the ear, yes, is middle ear infection. How do you treat it? Is excess fluid generated in the ear. How do you treat that? You treat that by using the grommets. Number two, because it's caused by the caused by the bacteria, by application of antibiotics. Nothing else. Nothing magical there. That's it. Yes. Accumulation of wax is just by removal of it. Just remove it, the wax. Then you're able to hear again. If the cochlea is the one which is damaged, then you can use cochlear implant. You understand? If the what? The bones are the one which are solidified, you can use the hearing aids. So no big deal, no what, guys. You have to be flowing. You have to be flowing in the paper. There is no reason why you should not be flowing when it comes to the life geotropism. You see, either that or that. Lastly, you need to know that this how does this one affect? This is just one mark. How does it affect? It prevents the effect of geotropism, because he has to rotate, keeps on rotating, meaning that the light, if light is coming from this side, that light is exposed, so it keeps on rotating and rotating, and if it rotates, it means that each side at the end of the day will have the same amount of light. Yes, that's the what you need to know. If they bring the first layer, this is, you write the word ID, which means X and Y. This must go on the X-axis, this must go on the Y-axis. So basically this is independent variable, this is dependent variable. So when you are drawing, it means that the years are supposed to go here. 2014, 2015, because this is ID, meaning independent variable, dependent variable. Dependent variable go on X-axis, dependent variable go on Y-axis. I think I'm clear there. Then you need to know what is if they give you a question, what are you supposed to look at? Basically, you have to look at independent variable. Sometimes you have to look at what is given here. You say that this is the effect of sunlight on, you see, the effect of sunlight on growth. So it means that sunlight becomes the effect, becomes the independent, and the growth becomes the what? The dependent. So growth will be depending on amount of sunlight being received. Then how do we calculate percentage increase? Percentage increase is calculated by final minus initial over initial. Please don't go there without knowing it. Yes, it equals to percentage increase. Then how do we calculate the bar graph? The bar graph is supposed to be having equal bars. The bars are supposed to be the same size. You understand? They're supposed to be the same size. Supposed to be the same size. So if you make the bars different sizes, then automatically you lose